Hey, it's Tuesday. Welcome on into Radio Row at Home, presented all week long by Kevin Miller of Caldwell Banker Gundaker here on ClaibsOnline.com. Since we can't be in Tampa this week, we're going to try to bring you all of the interviews that we usually do each and every year. And I got to say, I'm very excited for this one. We've actually talked about this man on the show before. He is the Ironman, Chris Nikic, along with his father, Nick. And we welcome them to our show here on ClaibsOnline.com. Chris, Nick, hello. How are you guys?
Hi. Nice to meet you.
Nice to have you guys on. Like I said, since November, we've talked about you. The first time we talked about you guys on the show, as many of my listeners know, I've been doing a lot of running, biking, everything, and at some point in early 2020, I decided that I was going to start training to do an Ironman. And Chris, you've done it. So I'm going to spend the next few minutes, I think, just getting tips from you and trying to learn what it takes to be an Ironman at 21 years old. Which Ironman competition did you just complete? Let the listeners know.
I just completed the Florida Ironman in Pemberley Beach.
That's awesome that you did that, and then you've been invited now to the one in Hawaii, correct?
Yeah.
When is that?
That is October 9th.
Of 2021?
Yeah.
So what's the training been today? What was the training that you have you already trained today? What's that been like?
Actually, it's about the training. It's about getting sick.
Yeah, he's been sick the last week.
Oh no! So just kind of taking some time off. How hard is it for you to take those off days? Take a rest day when you need it?
I just feel like, getting hug and cheer from my dad.
Hug or two.
And then usually he usually makes pancakes, eggs. He usually gets nuts for me. And then he picks up dinner.
You bring that up. So one of the things, not only have we talked a lot on the show about just training and stuff like that, one thing I love to talk about is eating food and just all kinds of food. So when you complete an Ironman, 15 hours swimming, biking, running, what's that post Ironman meal? I want to know what you ate in November after you finished.
I ate Waffle House.
How much of the menu did you order?
All of it.
Great breakfast, smothered, covered with chili, grits, and bacon.
Now, Nick, how much of the training do you get on? How much of this has he dragged you into?
Well, more and more. I'm betting I do almost half of what he does now, and my goal, a little bit at a time, is to see if I can eventually catch him and do an Ironman. It's a hefty goal, but he has inspired me to think about overcoming some of my obstacles, because watching him overcome so many obstacles, both physical and intellectual things he was born with, but also all the obstacles that were caused by COVID. And he just found a way to overcome everything in order to achieve the impossible.
Now, Chris, you're only 21 years old. So how long ago was it that you had this goal to complete this, or what sparked your goal to compete in the Ironman?
Do you remember when it started? Lucky Lake. Tell them about Lucky Lake.
So a year ago, I swam at the Lucky Lake, and then I swam 5,000 yards, and then I signed the Chris World Champ.
And that was a little over a year ago. He crossed the lake back and forth, something we never thought was possible. He signed a wall, Chris World Champ, and I said, why not? Why not do something extraordinary? If you do an Ironman, you could be a world champ, and that's what sparked it.
I need to know. So, like I told you, so my goal right now, I'm looking at. I want to do Lake Placid in 2022. So that's my goal right now, is to do that one. I'm signed up for about 7 or 8 half marathons already this year already. So there's definitely more to come. I mean, who are we fooling? It's February. We all know I'm going to sign up to do a few more. What when it comes to the swimming part, Chris, I think that's the part that's going to get me the most. How do you go from swimming in the pool to swimming in open water? How difficult of a transition was that?
Because of the choppy waves, I had to learn how to calm down, take a couple of deep breaths, and let the water calm down, and then keep going.
Yeah, for about a month before the race, we went to the ocean. It's because you're right, that was the most difficult part. And he started out by just getting in the water and just panicking and could barely, he was hanging on to his guide. But then we just, a little bit at a time, we went back twice a week and he would swim a little more each time. And then by the end of the month, he was swimming 4,000 or 5,000 yards in the ocean. No big deal. So it takes practice. You're right. If you're going to get ready for the ocean swim, you got to get in the ocean.
What you talk about the guide, and I saw the video and the picture and everything. How did that work with the Ironman company itself? Were there hoops and stuff to jump through to have somebody with him the whole time?
There were. We had to negotiate because someone with intellectual disabilities has never done an Ironman. They have physical disabilities, a division for that, but he's got both physical and intellectual. So we actually had to rewrite the rules where we said, look, we just need some accommodations. He's going to do the 140 miles on his own. He's going to do it in the right time. But, Chris can't tie his own shoes. He can't actually get on and off the bike by himself. For safety reasons, we'd like to use a tether in the ocean so we don't lose him out there. And maybe in the future, right, as we get more confident, we'll solve that. But, they made slight little accommodations for him where his guide was there the whole time. And that's part of the Special Olympics program. All the athletes have a unified partner with them. And so we just extended that. Our hope is that the unified partner concept from Special Olympics makes its way into the Ironman as a standard so other Special Olympics athletes can follow Chris on his journey to doing a real Ironman.
Chris, were you how have you handled all of the publicity and all of the newfound fame that you've received over the past 3-4 months from this?
How are you handling all this stuff?
It's been crazy. Because I got invited to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers football game.
That's awesome. So you guys in the Tampa area?
We live in Orlando.
Okay, so have you always been a Tampa fan, or what team was? Yeah.
Absolutely. And the COO invited us to a game, gave Chris a special football with 1% better, his concept of just getting a little bit better every day. He got invited to the soccer team and got recognized at halftime. And just it's been amazing. He just signed a book deal. So there'll be a book coming out this year.
I mean, the movie's got to be on the way too, right?
People are negotiating, so we'll see.
How do you feel about? I mean, Chris. So when I've told people that I was going to have you on, the question that has come up most is that I need to ask Chris how his search is going for the Smoking Hot Blonde. I got to imagine that having a book deal, negotiations for movies, hanging out with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, I got to imagine it's making it a little easier, right?
Yeah.
Were you not expecting this question today?
No, we weren't.
I was excited when you said I was Smoking Hot Blonde.
Stop.
Where did the concept of 1% better come from?
So it's something I use in the corporate world to help sales organizations improve and develop and change. As we need to change in order to get better. So I took that concept and simplified it for Chris so that I can keep him focused every single day on just one thing. And that is how he becomes a little better today than he was yesterday. And the 1% concept is pretty powerful. As you're training for Ironman, it's actually not as hard as a lot of people think it is. If you follow the 1% concept, and build a strong foundation for about 6 months, then the last 3 months just accelerates dramatically. And you make 70 to 80% of your progress actually in the last 3 months by building a really strong foundation. So the 1% really is something that anybody can follow. It's easy, it's painless, it's cumulative, and it's just a concept that's just easy for anybody to follow.
You know, you mentioned the swimming being the hardest, Chris, with 140 miles on a bike. I think people need to realize, you know, you hear that and it doesn't really. That's how long did the bike portion take for you?
It took me like
8 hours.
8 hours.
Yeah, I don't think a lot of people realize that is 8 hours in the saddle of a bike. That's not usually the most comfortable seat in the world to begin with. Was that, or how would you compare the difficulty of swimming that distance to learning how to just sit on that bike for 8 hours?
Because swimming is fun, and so the bike is painless.
Painful.
But I can't eat or drink like every other Ironman because those people are crazy and they're crazy Ironmans and they do crazy stuff.
Yeah. And Chris has an additional difficulty because he can't use clip-ons on the bike. So he gets less power. He can't use an arrow position. So he has to sit up straight using flat bars. So the wind, you know, is difficult for him. And then, of course, the extra weight on the backside as he sits up as opposed to in an arrow position. And then he has to stop every 30 minutes to take nutrition. So he loses about 3 minutes every 30 minutes, right? So you can imagine, you know, that's about, 15 stops at 3 minutes apiece. So he loses over an hour and a half just stopping. So he has to overcome all kinds of obstacles to finish the bike in 8 hours.
You guys have such an incredible team around him too. Where did you meet the team that you've been working with for this past year and a half?
Well, Special Olympics created an environment that was just amazing for Chris. So they started a triathlon program. Then they introduced us to guides who were volunteers from the local tri club and other volunteers. And so we got connected to the community. And so if it wasn't for Special Olympics starting the program and introducing us to the community and the tri club, we wouldn't have had all the support. And as it turns out, support is absolutely crucial and critical to the success of something like this. And so Chris has been blessed to have some amazing people like Simone and Dan and Wynn and Hector and Carlos and Jennifer and just a bunch of other really amazing people who have really dedicated their time and effort to helping Chris achieve this monumental goal.
Chris, who of all the people that you have gotten to meet now after this, celebrities, you said you've hung out with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Has there been one person that you met and your jaw just dropped that you never thought in your life that you'd meet?
Yeah, I said my wife.
Your wife? You haven't met your wife yet.
Oh, I was. Don't meet her.
Tell them about the really cool people you met. Like who's special? Mojo, Theo Vaughn. Who are some of the others?
Oh my gosh. Theo played an actor in Netflix. And he plays as Joey Jokes.
Yeah, Theo Vaughn, he's a comedian out of Nashville. He interviewed a podcast last week. Really funny and just absolutely wonderful. And then he offered to take him on a double date. And they're going to go on a double date with Mojo, who's a WWE wrestler.
Yeah.
WrestleMania in Tampa. So double date with Mojo, Theo, Terrence Ross from the Orlando Magic, and they're all going to bring dates.
I got to meet Mojo usually hangs out at the Super Bowl every year. So, it's unfortunate you don't get to see him this year because, he's great friends with Rob Gronkowski. And last year I ran into him while he was carrying around the 24/7 title. And I wanted to see if I could roll him up and pin him and become 24/7 champ. He wouldn't let me do it though. He said he couldn't. I think his bosses might have gotten upset if he would have lost the title to just some radio guy in St. Louis.
Well,
So
one of the coolest people we've met. He is so much fun. He really took to Chris, came to our house. They spent time together, and he promised them, a shot in the ring.
that's awesome. Is that the next goal? I know you're doing golf now. Is the next goal professional wrestler?
No.
I'll be coming a wrestler. I'm thinking a boxer.
Okay, is that the Special Olympics? Is that something what do they other sports do they have that he would be interested in, that Chris would be interested in?
Yeah. So what's the next big thing for Special Olympics you're going to? What's this?
I'll be going to the USA Winter Games.
No, USA Summer Games in Orlando. He's going to the USA Summer Games, so Special Olympics USA Games in Orlando in 2022.
Are you planning to compete there, or are you going there as an ambassador?
Both.
He got selected as an ambassador, champion ambassador, and he and his team were the first to be invited to the USA Games for triathlon.
So, Chris, I mean, you're an Ironman now. That's got to put kind of a bullseye on you, right? I mean, everybody's got to be coming for you.
Yeah.
All his friends want to beat him now.
Do you welcome that? Are you?
Oh,
Tell him about Adrian, who beat you at the last one.
yeah, stop it! John, nothing.
Tell him Adrian beat you.
Don't listen there. It's passing trouble.
I'm not trouble.
Okay, Chris, it sounds like, I mean, Adrian just keeps getting 1% better, and you got to keep up with him now, right?
And I'm keeping telling Adrian, you need to let me win. You let me win, I can ask her out.
He wants to ask her out, but she's too young, so he's got to wait.
Oh, okay. Well, okay, you keep letting her win then. If that's the end game there, keep letting her win, guys. This has been so much fun. It makes me regret that we aren't able to do this on Radio Row in person this year. But I really appreciate you guys coming on here and sharing your story. And Chris, I'm gonna keep keeping up with you on Instagram. And you're cheering for the Bucks this weekend, I'm guessing, right?
Go Bucks! Go Bucks!
That's Chris and Nikic. Chris, an Ironman and a great ambassador for the Special Olympics, joining us here. It's Radio Row at Home, presented all week long by Kevin Miller of Caldwell Banker Gundaker. Guys, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.